Testing one, two, three. Okay. What's up? I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while now. Let me move the mic closer. I've been wanting to do a video for like this for a long time now. As you can see, I got the Berserk stuff on because a recent chapter just dropped. It's been a minute. I want to say about a couple months ago. I'd say around December, I guess. Like we got the Berserk chapter of. Oh, that's what I'm doing, by the way. I'm doing a Berserk chapter. Okay. The idea is that I want to do more like videos like this where they're just kind of like me rambling a little bit about stuff I like, stuff that's come out that I want to talk about. I'm very late to the conversation about the Summer Game Fest and the Nintendo Direct and all the games that got announced recently, so just bear with me on that. But I do want to still talk about those things because I have some thoughts. But right now, I want to get to Berserk because Berserk is one of my favorite things of all time. It is my favorite anime manga of all time. It's my favorite manga of all time, and I do enjoy the animes. I do enjoy the adaptations. I think the 1997 anime is really really good for its time and really holds up. And then the movies they do a great job of bringing in a new kind of energy to the Golden Age arc. If you guys don't know, like Golden Age is like the second arc of Berserk, where it's like more so prequel arc before the first arc, where you get to see Guts' backstory, because Guts also my favorite character in anime, manga, DC comic, Marvel fiction. Love that guy. I just to like quickly summarize why I think Guts is one of the best protagonists of all time. He's not a hero. He's not a villain. He's a man. He's a man who goes through a lot, and his story is about finding his place in the world, struggling. He is the living embodiment of the human spirit, the metaphor of like, pushing forward and trying to make the best of situation you have. Um, and in a lot of characters in the actual manga, you can see how he affects everybody he's with, because he just chooses to be free. He chooses to, um, in a way, kind of uh, show there is a different way of living to a lot of characters. But more than anything is that everybody's wrong about him. He is the way he sees himself and the way he comes across to other people is that he is a monster. A man who just swings his sword, a warrior from the day he was born, a cursed child, a villain, a monster, bastard child. He's not one of those things. Given the circumstances, I think Guts would have had a very different life if he was born in a different era. It's my hot take. Unfortunately, the world he grew up in wasn't so kind to him. And it's again navigating that, which it's very very heart wrenching story. I love characters like that, like Arthur Morgan, John Marston, who are who are have some, not say I don't like. I love. Listen, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, where they're more so heroism, but I also enjoy the characters who sometimes make mistakes and they do things they're not proud of, but they try to make amends and have try their best to they fuck up and then they uh, try to be better. And that's the most relatable thing, because nobody's perfect. We're all flawed human beings. We mess up. We do things that we're not proud of. We do things that we think are right and then they're actually wrong. It's very relatable, sort of arc that Guts goes through in his life. And again, I'm just rambling now about why I love Berserk and why I love Guts, because Guts is Berserk. He is our more than anything. Guts is our lightning rod to this story. If how he sees the world is how we see the world. So if I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking at like my monitor and my camera right now. Sorry. How we see the world is how he sees the world is how we see the world. You know, right now we're at the story. It's we're in the last arc. I forgot the name because it goes Black Swordsman, Golden Age, um, Lost Children, Conviction. I personally think they're two arcs, but some people kind of mesh them together, Lost Children and Conviction. But whether you think they're one arc or you think they're separate, I personally really love Lost Children and Conviction. Not to say that I don't love the good old Golden Age. I'm not one of those people who are like, hey, since it's always they always adapt that, so it's kind of overrated. No, it's not. Oh, Golden Age is amazing, and it was still. That's why it keeps getting animated because it's fucking phenomenal, amazing arc. But yeah, I will again one day I would love to see other arcs get animated. Is what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, Berserk is a great series that I feel like a lot of people should read. So going back to the actual topic of the video, we got some recent chapters, and we're getting about. I think the what Koji Mori was saying, or I think they announced it that we are getting 3 chapters for the rest of the year. I think this is it, and then we're moving on to 2027, and we'll see how that goes. So I think we got a chapter like 2 days ago. Then we're getting another chapter next week or 2 weeks from now, and then another chapter 2 weeks from now. So 3 chapters to end off the year. Maybe they might give us something closer to fall. But for the summer, that's all we're getting, and I'm happy about it. I mean, I love this story, and originally the author had passed away right before he got to finish it. But thankfully, he ended up this one of Koji Mori, probably the greatest example of like a best friend, where one being his own mangaka, his own author in himself, creating works, taking the time to take charge and kind of take his place and finish his story because that was his friend, and he believes that this story needs to be finished, um, and just because that's what his friend would have wanted. So big W W Mori that's a great example of a great friend. But yeah, so we got new chapter today, 384. We got some revelations about Guts. It's okay. If you've been following this series for a long time, it's not nothing that they didn't kind of foreshadows. I've seen a lot of people. I was talking to a couple buddies of mine, a coworker from work. They're like, "Oh no, I don't like that," because the trope is, the idea is that it's like, "Oh no, he's a chosen one." Like, no, that's none of that. Like, as a Naruto fan, the Ninja Jesus, the chosen destiny thing got way too much. It was too much. It kind of, depending on who you talk to, it kind of ruined the story for a lot of people. But that's not what this is. It kind of just informs a lot of things of why Guts' role is important in this story. It doesn't mean that he is not a character it still means he's the underdog, but it just also kind of like gives an explanation of like, why is everybody so fascinated with this random dude, you know? And it's like, oh yeah, dude, you're not supposed to be here. Like, you know what I mean? He's okay. So, he's in the context, after a couple of, I'm just trying to go by a summary of what I remember from last chapters of like, they get captured by the Kushan Empire. Um, the older, it's a empire that has been foreshadowed in this series for a long time. Is it the Kushan Empire? I'm trying to think. Arapa? These are a band of mercenaries. It's a country that has been foreshadowed since Golden Age, because one of the characters is kind of the prince in this story, and he's been kind of shown. He's had an encounter with Guts back in Golden Age a couple times. They fought. So he's always been like, I recognize you. I know not to mess with this guy because he was even before he went crazy. I'm not gonna mess with him. Like so. So he's back in his empire. They got captured. But it's also like Guts is in a place right now where very still like he's been in a couple of these past chapters, been very very depressed, very sad, and pretty much has given up after kind of once again losing Casca uh to Griffith. And again, he spent the better part of almost a year, and in real time for us, almost a decade, trying to just get Casca someplace safe for like about 3 arcs now. So that's he just like, what is it all for? What was all that for? I've it was all for nothing, is what I was, is the idea. And it's hard now. It's like he can't even pick up the sword. I used to rely to him. It's like throughout the entire story, the Dragon Slayer was like his his way of carving out his own destiny in this entire story. Like that was his way of surviving. Um, even the part of the story we don't even really see for those like a year and a half, I think, between Black Swordsman, between the end of Golden Age and like before the beginning of Black Swordsman, like that year and a half or 2 years where he's just like just hunting down the apostles. Um, yeah, yeah, that's been his baby, and even as a kid, like every sword he had has been like a teddy bear for him. So like this has failed me. What else? What is life? Like nothing means anything. Life is meaningless, like that kind of thing. So yeah, yeah. Right now he's going through reflection. There, I guess the magicians are like, he's very dangerous because if the beast of darkness, Guts's, the living embodiment of Guts's pain and wrath and trauma mished into an actual like other kind of being in his subconscious that takes hold sometimes when he has the berserker armor. He's dangerous, so they had to restrain him, and they're like, okay, well, what could we do? We kind of need him. We need this guy for the fight because now, as it's been set up in this arc, it's like, okay, it's basically this. There is the country that Griffith has created, the Fantasia, the holy kingdom that he's always wanted since the beginning of Golden Age. He's got his kingdom. He is so powerful that he has literally taken the pen of the Arthur and written his own shit. Like, no, this is a script we're gonna follow, boys. I've created my own thing. So now it's basically me against everybody, and I will win. So right now, I think at this point, it's just Griffith versus these guys, our characters, and the Empire that where the characters are at right now. So it's basically like, yeah, we're going to war, so we kind of need him. He is like our ace in the hole. He's like our fool Arcana Persona fans. Like he's our Jack. He's our ace. He's our, yeah, basically ace in the hole. So we need him, but right now he's not in a good place. So maybe we should try like maybe let's give him some magicianal therapy. So yeah, yeah. It's interesting. So we get a revelation. I think the person when he's in this clam and he's going into the water, um, I've seen people talk. There's a lot of like where he goes. It's like I guess again, it's the astral world. He's a flood of memories. He's kind of reflecting at this point on his life up until this point, like all the flashbacks of when he was a kid. Him kind of showing remorse a little bit of like all the things he's done, and again, if up this is again, like I said, Guts is the GOAT because of how much. To me, this just reinforces the character development that Guts has gone through. I mean, this guy was like slaying people, creatures, demons, all these chapters, and now it's like even with the now at his lowest point, you can argue, um, you could kind of he's kind of like going like, what was it all for? I killed so many people and I've slain so many people. Just the reflection that I got, the reflection felt a lot more akin to back in Golden Age in the Campfire of Dreams chapter with when he was on the hilltop with Casca, kind of reflecting on his life at that point. That's what at least that's my interpretation of this scene. Very, very like reflection that I haven't seen with Guts in a while. But it's like, yeah, I'm just, what now? What now? It's a big turning point. I think we're not entirely sure who visits him, but it's the again, I'm blanking on the names because it's been so long since I'm reading these chapters as they come out, so it's like, but it's real world time. Like I haven't read Millennium Falcon in a minute, where they really got into the nitty gritty of the astral world and explaining the magic and kind of like not power system, but like more explaining the other side of Berserk, where it's the astral world, where it's a mixture of magic and gods and monsters, and the demon world and the world of the magic and shit like that. So it's like, it was Shirike's master. That's what people are saying, and I thought that too, because back in Millennium Falcon, she had the kind of same appearance. So I think, and she kind of dropped a bombshell on him. Hey man, you're kind of important because you are not from this world either. And this is the reason why you and Griffith met. Uh, Causality it's like, this is their version of fate in a way, from my understanding, the way at least I interpret it. And interpret the word causality in the world of Berserk. It's that it's it's not destiny, but it's also like, it's kind of like the Force a little bit. Again, a Star Wars fan, I'm trying to make sense of it myself, thinking about it now. It's like, when Palpatine had seduced, and not literally, but what I mean, like, had turned Anakin to the dark side. The saying is that the Force there was two Sith. There was a lot of dark side going on in the world. So what did the Force do? It created two people of the light, Luke and Leia. It kind of balanced itself out. So the Force does shit to like, the Force does stuff and for a purpose, and that's kind of what the causality is in Berserk, because Griffith in himself has always been, a part of him has always been part of the astral world. He's a being, he's a human being of the regular world, but he's always had a place in the astral world because it was his destiny he has the destiny arc. It was his destiny to become Femto and grab the Crimson Bailet and become the fifth Godhead. But with Guts, it's revealed that he actually shouldn't be here. He is not from this place, in a way. Like, he should be dead. His body, his soul is part of the astral world, more so than it is in the real world, in the human world. So he's like a semi, like, he has ties to both. Like, he can see, and like, he's a person who's living that a part of him exists in the other world because of his birth. In the very beginning of the story, or at least Guts' story, he was born from his mother, but she died. So he was kind of born from a corpse, like, a woman's corpse. He was cursed. You know that, and they've been saying that since the beginning of the added to his aura, I would say, of being like, oh, I'm the underdog, like I shouldn't be here. I'm cursed, like I should not be here. I was born from a dead person, so that I'm literally a living bad juju. You know, like I should, you know, I shouldn't, you know, everything I touch turns to shit kind of thing. Whenever I'm around anybody, their life gets fucked up. And my life is also messed up. Yeah, so they kind of tell us like, yeah, he is cursed. He is a bad juju. And that's kind of the reason why it's not the reason why he survived the eclipse or anything like that. It's more the reason why Skull Knight was interested in him when he first interested in this random person. Again, it was like, oh, you are a struggler just like me, and it's like, yeah, you're a struggler, but like, really, why did you choose me out of like 1,000 warriors, aside from me being the main character? You know, like again, that's his whole thing is like he's kind of like he's not the everyman, but he's a man that's just like I don't have any powers. I just swing my goddamn sword around and I make shit happen, and I get the job done. So it explains why Skull Knight was kind of interested in it. I'm like, what are you? Because you're what the fuck are you? You're not from causality doesn't know what to do with you. You're not from this plane. You have ties to the astral world like me, and but it makes sense because I died. I'm a walking skull warrior with a horse and shit. Like I am part of the astral plane, and I have the power to walk among the human world. But you're a human who can see it is has your half of your soul and half of your existence is part of the astral world. What are you? That's I'm interested. I'm gonna keep you around and take you on with my crusade of defeating the God Hand. So that we know now. Okay, that's why Skull Knight was interested in him, but also finally explains why the fuck could Guts see all these creatures in the entire story. It explains why he could see fairies when he was only 14 years old when he met in the prequel chapter way before when he met Chish, and then also when he met Puck and how he met Zod in Golden Age. Um, he was the when that's why I'm saying like the metaphor of like, you know, we see the world through Guts' eyes because, you know, when we're introduced, even when we're introduced to our first kind of the story itself, at least in that arc or the prequel arc, it was just like a kingdom battles of the holy war, just soldiers killing soldiers. And it's with Guts when we meet our first person who is a not from this realm, and that's when we meet Zod, and he is our first kind of monster of that arc, and he technically are the first monster of the story. And then from then on, now we see like this world is a lot. There's a lot of shit going on. What's happening? And from then on, then we get a lot more monsters. And but that was because of like, again, Guts was the first one to witness that from the group when he was in the Band of the Hawk. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is like yeah, it's interesting, but it's also curious too because it's like, okay, Guts is, yeah, I can see why you're our ace in the hole in this war because you kind of are tied with Griffith. The reason why you guys kind of met is because that the universe doesn't know what to do with you guys. Even more you. We just don't. The universe, causality, the plane of existence, the interstice, the astral world. It doesn't know it. It sees you. You're a walking anomaly. Like you shouldn't exist. But that's also why you're able to do and just kind of like not kill all these demons, but you're like you're a person who like he's the only real person with a choice in existence because this world is secretly ruled by the God Hand. So he's the and like it makes sense too because you know he's always been like fuck you God Hand. Um Yeah, and but it's like Griffith was always destined to be femto, but Guts was kind of like uh yeah, just the ace in the hole, man. I really can't really think of any other way to say it, but it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm curious to see what goes on after this chapter. Like, okay, well, all right. I'm more interested. Okay, that's cool. Now, what's gonna happen now? Okay, so are we getting a revelation about more stuff with the lore, or because they again, the God Hand that we mean the story that we know of is not the original God Hand. They're actually God Hand. There was God Hand before, back in the day with Skull Knight, um, when he was king. As it's not confirmed that he's King Geyserig, but he is. Let's be honest with ourselves. At least it's obvious to me. I mean, I may be wrong. They might flip that, and they may not even acknowledge it. But like, as we know, everyone knows that's King Geyserig. It's even if foreshadowed in Golden Age, and it got foreshadowed last arc that he is King Geyserik. It's like it's yeah. So even says like, back when I was living, what you saw were the memories of a foolish king, and I'm like, yeah, those are your memories. You're King Geyserik. So yeah, you've done this before. That's why you are interested in me too, because like you've been through this before. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I am excited to see more. Um, I'm curious to see where the story goes from here. Again, I'm just more focused on like, okay, what is the game plan? I would love to get some more lore shit. I would love to. But yeah, we'll just have to remain and see. Again, I'm probably gonna talk about this again in the next 2 weeks when the new chapter gets out. New chapter comes out. But I just want to come down here and just ramble about my thoughts on this new chapter, chapter 384. Again, I'm just happy that we're getting Berserk content, but I'm just happy in general. Like, I mean, I started reading Berserk when I was in high school, so around 2019, 2018, around like right after around 2021 or 2020 when COVID kind of subsided a little bit, around 2022. So sorry, I went through a whole bunch of years. I would say 2022 because I remember reading on my laptop while we were like it was the year when I think every school in America kind of like, all right, we're good now. You don't have to go like hybrid, go meet up. You can just be in class. You could just go and just back to where it was like 3 years past then. Like, go back. No, you could still wear masks, but yeah. So yeah. I've been with this franchise. I've been with this manga for a while. At least for me, I've but I also am aware of, like, back in the day when I was a kid, before I even knew about this series, um, we were lucky to get two chapters in like 4 years. We were lucky to get a chapter in a year. Anything for like a year and a half. We were stuck on that boat in the Millennium Falcon arc. So or sorry, Fantasia. We were stuck on that. So I'm just happy that like we're eating good, even if it takes a long time. We're eating better than we did at any point in like the early 2010s, where it was just for a lot of the fans who were here. Not me. Thank God I didn't go through that. I mean, I would have still read because Berserk is just the greatest thing of all time. But I can imagine if I was around that time, I would have been like, I would be so appreciative of the fact of like we're getting chapters that are not like every 2 years, and we're getting a chunk of them. Um, Still take your time, Koji Mori and the team, but I'm very grateful. Thank you. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. So, yeah.